Thursday's Talking Reds with me, Craig Hannan, and Andy Heaton. The day after Liverpool's unbeaten run has finally ended. It had to end at some stage. Like, we all joked and said, like, are we going to win forever? We probably weren't going to win forever. And the fact that it's come in the Cup, there's been a bit of a debate around that, Andy. I think, like, the very fact that it's come from the League Cup, and you know, there's that idea of we've got bigger fish to fry this season. We're unbeaten in the league. We're top of the league. We've got the game against Chelsea in the league at the weekend. Where do you stand on it? Like, what were your feelings coming out of the game? Because for me, it was a little bit mixed. I was like, I'm annoyed to be out of this cup because Liverpool need to win things, and Liverpool exists to win things, and we haven't won anywhere near enough. But in my head, I was also thinking, well, there's a more important game at the weekend, and I would rather win that game than this one. What's your thoughts on it?
So I checked the small print on my match ticket going in yesterday, and apparently this doesn't count in the unbeaten.
Well, yeah, it's good because we can just keep going, can't we? We can just keep going with the league ones now.
No, I mean, look, Liverpool exists to win trophies and blah blah blah. And I said last week, so I'm not going to go against what I said last week. Is that I want a decent League Cup run. That being said, if you had the big run of 7 games that everyone said was going to be dead hard, if they would have said, right, you've got to pick one of these that you're not going to win, well, it's going to be that one. I mean, don't get me wrong with it. It's a strange one, isn't it? Because the whole trophy argument, because I think in previous seasons, maybe the importance of it would be a little bit more, but the fact of the matter is, as it stands at the moment, we are in the hunt for a trophy, a big one we haven't won for over 20 years. So, you know, if at the end of it, if going out now, if you say to me now, the difference between going out is an extra 3 points in the league at some stage, then you take it, don't you?
Yeah, because now we've got an extra couple of midweeks. Now, bearing in mind, I'm one of those people that have always said I want to win trophies. I'm dying to win another trophy. But once we're beaten, I'm telling myself all the positives, and the positives are we get a couple of extra free midweeks, one before the Arsenal game as well, and then we don't have to worry about that mad January of the 2 semi-finals, the FA Cup as well, which is in midweek, I think, this season. So it would just create this mad January when hopefully we're still going to be in the hunt for the Premier League. That's the positives from it. I think another thing is it's a completely different side that played last night to what we'll see at the weekend. Like, a fully changed back five. We obviously had Fabinho, who starts his first game for Liverpool. The likes of Keita, who hasn't played loads so far this season. Sturridge, Shaqiri. It was a good chance to see these players. Who impressed you most?
So I think what I came away from the game, what was apparent is that it's not just having good players, it's having the right players as opposed to the best players. So the team last night tried to play the system we've been playing mostly throughout the season, but you could see the difference when Andy Robertson wasn't there. The difference in the back, we looked a bit more, for the first time in the season, a little bit edgy from set pieces. But positives, I thought Sturridge gets on the score sheet again. Probably should have scored more, probably should have got a brace.
Could have had another with that.
Could have had,
the one off the crossbar as well.
Oh, I thought that was in all the way.
I know.
You know, he just sits up before he even hits anything. Right, in. Imagine that coming in off the other side of the bar.
I just love, though, that, like, you know, he's the kind of player that obviously when he misses the first one, you think, you'd put all your money on Daniel Sturridge to score that. He obviously scores the second, which was more difficult. And then he looks up and he can see the keeper just slightly off his line, and that's when he hits it. And he was unlucky. I thought Shaqiri did really well. I thought he
grew into it. I thought he grew into it. I
thought he always looked lively, and he was always there for the ball. He was finding space. He was making things happen, and I think that, you know, we've seen the telling off that he gets at the end of the game by Klopp. And I wonder if Klopp's just being a little bit hard on him at the beginning to try and sort of mould him into exactly what Klopp wants him to be, because he has all the assets of, you know, that he can be that. And I think
it's tough love in that.
Yeah, tough love. I think that's the case, because I think, again, at the weekend he was brilliant and he gets hooked at half time. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for him to adapt to what Klopp wants, and for it to be sort of instilled in his brain that he does it automatically.
I mean, look, I thought he was really, really good, and I'm with you. It's going to take time, and I think the same goes for Fabinho. We saw some good, some bad. I didn't think he played poorly at all. I've heard other people have different opinions, especially on the first half. But again, it's not going to come overnight. We've seen that. We've seen that with Oxlade-Chamberlain last season. We saw it with Andy Robertson last season. These things, you know. And look, at the end of the day, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but until Chelsea equalised, I don't think we were really in the game. I mean, it's easy to say after coming off a 2-1 defeat that, we shouldn't have rotated, we played poorly. But actually, I think up until 80, 85 minutes, we were fine.
Yeah, I think the first 30, Chelsea were on top, and I think Fabregas looked as if he was just controlling the game, and you could see Klopp shouting at the players to say, get on him, and in the second half, Fabinho was almost following him. Like, there was a time where Fabinho was almost as far up as Sturridge was, because he was told to sort of, keep within the space that Fabregas was. And I think once we sort of dealt with that, we grew into the game. Lads like Fabinho, because it's important to remember that these players haven't played a lot of football, and if any, a lot of them over the past sort of month and a half. And I thought they did grow into the game. And I think you're right. I think once Liverpool scored, it was Liverpool's game, and they were creating chances. They probably should have scored another. And it's just like Chelsea grabbed that one, and then from there, obviously Hazard, like. What a goal it is. And when I'm watching that and I'm watching Moreno, I'm thinking, like, does Robertson do that? Is Robertson able to stop him? But sometimes you just have to take your hat off and say Hazard was just, it was unreal.
We give him the opportunity to score the goal. I mean, you could say, but Robertson stopped it, but he might have done, he might not. But the fact of the matter is, Albi Moreno once again was at the scene of the crime.
Which has been the case too many times.
Well, yeah.
But that, I think the positive is that I know it feels harsh to say, but we don't have to watch that 5 play altogether. And I think while that sounds harsh, when you bring one of them into the back 4, then it's not a catastrophe really, because they've got Van Dijk alongside them. They've got players that we can trust. They've got a goalkeeper that they can trust. I think it's different when you put one in. When you change the whole 5, then that's kind of where you saw the first 30, where we felt under pressure for the first time this season, really.
But you could say that about the midfield as well. So you go your regular midfield and you drop Fabinho in for, I don't know, Henderson, or you drop Shaqiri in for someone else for just the one change. But when they're making wholesale changes, as you said, they've got to find, you can practice, have games at Melwood, simulation games at Melwood. It doesn't matter. I mean, it helps, but it doesn't matter. The only real learning you can do is on the pitch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that, if we're going to take another negative, I suppose that's a bit of a shame that, we won't have an opportunity, well, not as many opportunities for Klopp to experiment, because I think you could argue that if we progressed in the League Cup, that gives opportunities for a couple of the youngsters as well,
definitely,
which is a shame.
Even someone like Curtis Jones, who impressed so much in pre-season and doesn't get a sniff. And if I'm Shaqiri as well, I'm probably Shaqiri and Sturridge. I'm thinking, well, there's 2 extra games before Christmas that I won't be playing, that I would have been a shoe-in for. They've obviously got the Champions League as well, and we've seen how much Klopp's rotated. He rotated more than any other manager last season, so he's going to continue to do that. So there will be, I think, one of the things that Klopp wasn't happy about at the end was some of the decisions. Now, I wasn't really with him on the penalties. The penalty shouts, the 2 handballs, I thought they would have been really harsh. I think the foul for the free kick for Chelsea's goal.
It's a bit strange, that one.
It's one of them where maybe 10, 12 years ago it's a brilliant tackle, and then now it's the kind of tackle they're just trying to sort of erase from the game.
Doesn't the linesman give a throw in though?
I think he does, yeah. It's the ref that gives it. So it could have gone either way. Look, we're Liverpool fans, and there might be a little bit of bias here. I didn't think at the time it was a free kick, but I can also see that the way that the game's changed over the past 10, 15 years, maybe 10, 15 years ago, that wouldn't have been a foul. Now it's creeping into the game.
What's the script of VAR though as well?
I think it was only used once, wasn't it?
It looked from the VAR that it was offside.
But I think from the VAR they couldn't. I've looked at it this morning, and from the VAR they couldn't. They basically needed a camera on the other side because there was someone's arm I think Firmino's arm was blocking, so it was difficult for them to see whether the lad behind Firmino was offside. Again, I don't know.
Making it up as they go along again.
But look, when this weekend, and we're not talking about this game anymore, I don't think by any stretch of imagination it's the end of the feel-good factor. I think it's a little dent, and it's a little bit of an annoyance, but in terms of what we're going for and the aspirations that we hope we'll be reaching and achieving this season, it'll hopefully end with, well, it'll be a forgotten game really. Just before we go to the next stage, we're going to just go to a quick insert from one of our partners, Heritage and Restaurant. So here it is.
Daisy's Talking Reds are now brought to you by Heritage, which is a bar and restaurant on Castle Street right here in the heart of Liverpool. So if you're in town for the game or you live in Liverpool and you're looking for somewhere really good and new to eat, we could heartily recommend Heritage. Get down there, Alex and Antonio will look after you.
Hello, we're in Heritage Castle Street and we're open Tuesday to Sunday. So the different types of food you do at Heritage, you've got a mixture of Sicilian, Italian, Middle Eastern and English French cuisine. So drinks and offer here at Heritage, we've got our own coffee, which is blended by Crosby Coffee just down the road. We've got Love Lane Pale Ales, which is from Liverpool themselves, Turncoat Gin, which is also a Liverpool brand, and World Beers and a cocktail list done by myself.
Nice one to Heritage there. If you're in the city before a game, after a game, or if you live here, be sure to check it out. It's on Castle Street. Lovely food, lovely drinks. We were there before the PSG game. So yeah, do stop by. It's a nice spot. A bit more upbeat here, and I'm a little bit sceptical of when former opposition players or former rivals come out and sort of are nice about Liverpool, because I always think, is there an ulterior motive? So Ryan Giggs has come out and he says he reckons this is the best Liverpool team to play in the Premier League. He said Liverpool haven't played well in some games but scraped results, which is actually quite scary, because if you're able to do that, that's championship form. So not only the swashbuckling 3 or 4 goals like we've been used to, but digging out results is what you need to do to win it. And then he talks a little bit about Raheem Sterling, about Sturridge and about Suarez, and how good they were going forward, but how there was always questions around Liverpool leaking goals and the amount they did in their defence. So I'm just wondering, do you think this is one of these things where, I think Klopp mentioned it in one of his press conferences a couple of weeks ago, where like rivals putting pressure on us to be able to say, you know, yeah, you are really good, but are you going to stand up to are you going to do what everyone thinks you can do? Because Neville did it recently as well, and Klopp was actually the one that said that in the press conference. He thinks that might be why they do it.
I'm not taking any of that toffee from Ryan Giggs. I'm sorry. No, listen, I mean, it's all nice. I don't think anyone's stupid enough or soft enough for the club to pay it any mind or let it affect them. You know, I mean, how could that affect it anyway? You read nice things about you and what? I mean, the only opinion that matters within that club is the managers and the coaches and the staff. Yeah. They won't be soft. They've seen this come on. We've got an experienced squad there. And you know what? I don't mind people talking about how good this Liverpool side are, because I'd rather them be talking about us than not talking about us, because if they're talking about us, it means we're doing something right.
Yeah, definitely. I think the words there that I loved is, which is actually quite scary. And like that seems to be a theme that, you know, any United fans I've spoken to, you know, they're around their mates, they're not saying this, but when they're speaking to a Liverpool fan, they're saying, you know, like... Is
this the same Ryan Giggs who a couple of years ago...
What are you going to say here?
No, it's fake. The same Ryan Giggs that said a couple of years ago that United never fall off a cliff like Liverpool.
He did say that. He did say that. I think I've seen quite a few people retweeting that. Yeah, I wondered where you were going to go with. Is that the Ryan Giggs that? Let's end that there. But yeah, no, I think it's always nice to hear the rivals talk about us and talk about you know, saying the words quite scary is what I'm in it for, and I want United fans to be scared of us, and I want the rest of the league to be scared of us, and so they should. Out today on Tall Player, there's the post-match show from last night. Get on that. There is the Carragher special yesterday on squad building, which was a belter as well.
Got wildcards coming out.
Wildcards coming out as well. The Carragher special, he basically spoke about what it's like to be within a squad whenever they're building and developing towards something. So he spoke about being part of the Houllier squad, the Benitez one, and he also spoke about the attraction of Jurgen Klopp. There's something really interesting he said, where he basically said that if you're playing within an exciting side and under an exciting manager, when you go away with your international teams to England, you've got the likes like Gary Neville asking you, well, what's he like, and any of the rival players, and he said that'll definitely be happening with Klopp at the minute. So yeah, definitely get on that. And then we've got the review, which is more of a tactical insight into the game last night, more in depth than the post-match pint, which you can also get into. So yeah, that's what we've got going on. Then we've got a live show on the 27th of October in Liverpool. That's on air at Kane's Brewery.
It's going to be boss this, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because it's going to be a little bit different to usual live shows because we've not actually done one before a game, I don't think. But it'll be all of the same. It'll be, there'll be a big chat about the Reds, big lively chat about the Reds. It won't be four lads sat on a stage with a microphone with everyone sitting quiet. You'll be expected to shout back at us. There'll be loads of audience interaction with that. So it's before LFC play Cardiff. Tickets are £7, and you can get them from theanfieldwrap.com/Tall Live.
Or see tickets.
Or see tickets, yeah. You can get them there.
And just lastly, on a more somber note, a friend of the Anfield Wrap, a friend of us, a couple of us knew him personally, passed away earlier this week, Mick Woodburn. Because, a long story short, I mean, Mick followed the Reds home and away. He was a regular with us. He met up with you guys.
Yeah, we had a pint with him in America. We bunked into a box at Liverpool United, and he was all laughs that day. And yeah, we had a lovely day with Mick. Yeah.
So basically, it's absolute tragedy what's happened, and it's affected so many people, especially his mum, who loved him dearly, and his whole family. A GoFundMe page has been set up, and the reason for this is that Mick's body's currently in Norway, and it's gonna cost a lot of money for the funeral, obviously, to get Mick home to Liverpool. So there'll be links in the video. So anything you can help with, no matter how large or small, be greatly appreciated. Any help you can offer to get Mick home would be amazing.
Yeah, links will be on our social media as well. So you'll be able to find that on our Twitter. We've tweeted it out today. But yeah, all thoughts go out to his mum Jackie, the rest of the family, and of course his friends.